Gals. It's Regina here with Live Your Best Life coaching, and I don't know that I've ever done a live on this site. I think I have previously pre-recorded videos and shared them, but I want to try something a little new tonight. I want to talk with you about reset. You know, if you ever had satellite, we had DirecTV for years, and sometimes it just wouldn't come on or whatever. And if you called technical support, they would say, "See that little red button on the box? Press it for a reset," and it would reboot the whole system. Well, what if our bodies had that reset button on it? How many feel like they could use a reset, especially after all that wonderful Thanksgiving food we had this weekend? Hey, Wayne, thank you for joining me. So let's look. What is a reset? A reset, it is to set again, to set, adjust, or fix in a new or different way. A reset. So, been looking some. It's light blinding me here. Been looking some at Health and Human Services. My daughter has decided to go back to school to become a social worker, and she and I have been discussing her classes, and she shared some of her books with me and whatnot. And this is just, I'm so proud of her. I just got to say that. I'm so proud of her for taking this step. But because she's following her dream. She is following her dream, and so, makes Mama's heart proud. But I've learned a lot in helping her study and whatnot there too. So I get the benefits, as well as she gets the degree. I get the benefits of helping study. And it talks a lot about the mental illnesses that are here, that are present. It talks about the physical conditions that are present, how they can be limitations to dreams and things like that. So what if our body had a reset button where we could go in, we could change, we could fix everything? Well, let's talk a little bit about reset and our health. Hey, Deidre, thanks for joining me. Excuse me. Let's talk a little bit about reset and our health. The things that are just being discussed today in healthcare systems. Prevention. They are, now they have this opioid crisis because doctors were treating symptoms, and they were treating symptoms with narcotic pain medications, which people became addicted to. So you went from just your physical to affecting your mental. So what we need to look at is prevention equals risk-based, and it needs to shift to well-being, which would be a positive lifelong goal. Prevention equals risk-based, just as with the painkillers, they're trying to prevent the symptom or alleviate the symptom. It's not curing the problem, it's just giving a little bit of comfort and discomfort. But that needs to shift to well-being, which is a positive lifelong goal. We need to look at whole person approaches that need to replace targeted treatment of symptoms. So treat the whole person, because they already know depression can show up not just as a mental illness, but as a physical illness. People who are depressed often experience pain within their body. So we need to take this whole person approach and replace the targeted treatment of symptoms. Number 3, people need to take an active role in their own self-care and well-being with the support and expert advice from healthcare professionals. Now, I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. As many of you know, 4.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. Survival rates aren't very high when you're at stage 3. But let me tell you, I was blessed with the best oncologist. She did not prepare me to die. She prepared me to live. Every time I saw her or someone on her team, they spoke life into me. The chemotherapy was there to kill the cancer cells, which tears down your immune system, which makes you feel like the walking dead. Yet, they were encouraging me with life. I did take an active role in my own self-care by speaking the Word of God into my life. Your words have power. What you speak has power. And somebody asked me one time, well, what have you achieved by speaking words? And my answer was simple. I'm cured. I'm no longer a victim of cancer. I beat it. I beat it because Revelation 12:11 says we overcome the adversary because of the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. I beat it. Your words can play a major role in your self-care and well-being. The words of your physicians, the expert advice of your healthcare professionals can speak life into you. And you can beat things that they think are absolutely unbeatable. I'm living proof. I go back to my oncologist in April. I'll have my final scan that's going to show cancer-free, just like everyone has shown since I completed chemotherapy. I will have reached that 5-year mark, and she's going to cut me free, set me free. I won't have to follow up with her anymore because at 5 years, the medical team can say, okay, you're cancer-free. You see, I told them I wasn't waiting 5 years. When those scans came back cancer-free, this chick was cancer-free. That was it. God did it. It was done. I received it, and I was blessed for it, and I was praising Him, and I still am. So now let's look, chronic illness. Chronic illness is something that needs to be understood as a process. We have to understand that it could take years to develop. The earliest prevention is also the easiest and most effective way to manage any disease. The earliest prevention. Now we also need mainstream medicine to shift to a whole person, integrative health approach that promotes and produces health and lifelong well-being. And I sat there and I thought about that one for quite a while. I worked 10 years in a physician's office. I know what it's like to have 40 people standing at the door when you open in the morning waiting to see the physician. Many physicians will say there just isn't enough time to treat the whole person. We're only allowed 10 to 15 minutes with each person. That's just enough time to, get the basis of what their symptoms are and move forward. But it's important that they come together with working on the whole person. So looking at this list, we can see that the reset is not difficult for anyone at the individual level. In other words, it starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with me. You don't have to wait for the government, for the lobbyists, for big pharma, or even your local hospital to lead the way. You don't have to wait on that. Nothing changes until you're aware of it. Making yourself aware of healthy choices is so basic that millions of people have already started doing it. But we need a medical system that supports this. And let me tell you, there are some out there. There are some. After being off of chemotherapy for a few months, I thought, in my mind, when I stop chemotherapy, I'm going to get all this energy back. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And guess what? 2 months after completing chemotherapy, I was barely making it from the bed to the sofa. I had zero energy. I was losing weight. I didn't lose weight while I was taking the chemotherapy. It started after I stopped the chemotherapy. I didn't have an appetite. I had fought so hard to live, and yet I felt like I didn't even have a life. And I would say to the oncologist, when am I going to feel better? When is this going to change and I'm going to feel better? I'm sorry, I have kids in the house, so they're not getting along apparently. I can't do that right now.
I got broke with a chair.
You got what?
I got broke with a chair.
Oh, it'll be okay. I know it hurts. You look so pretty. Come here a minute. Let everybody see you. Hey everyone, this is Miss Addison. This is my little girl, my little angel girl. The chair got her, so that's what she's upset about. But isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? She's such a blessing to me. But back to what I was saying. I would say to my oncologist, when's this going to change? When am I going to feel like I'm alive again? When will I have the energy to do things with my family? Why did I fight to live if this is it? And she would say, I think it's going to get better, but it's going to be a really, really, really long time. So I heard that, for quite a few times. And finally I looked at her and I said, hey, I love you. You're so encouraging, but what is a really, really, really long time? Are we talking 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, never? What are we talking? And she didn't want to say it because she knows how important our words were. But she finally admitted that I might not ever feel any better. But you know what? I didn't accept that. She wasn't wanting to give me that, and I wasn't receiving that because I had a choice in what I could receive and not receive. And so I prayed, and I prayed, and God sent me Wayne Sutton. I don't know if Wayne's still on. He was, but God sent me Wayne Sutton. And Wayne and I talked. I had followed Wayne for years. I'd never talked with him, but we sat down and we had a telephone conversation. And it is through Wayne that I received my coaching accreditation. And y'all, that's been one of the greatest accomplishments of my life. I am so proud of myself for taking that step, for going there. Because you see, God wasn't through with me yet. I have a purpose, and I'm living that purpose. But I want to share with you something else Wayne shared with me. Wayne shared with me a company called Isagenix. And I'm not telling you got to buy into it. I'm not telling you have to buy products. But I'm going to testify about these products. I need to make a disclaimer here. I am not allowed to say that they treated any medical condition or anything like that. So don't say, Regina said this is a miracle drug. I did not. But I just want to show you right now one of the products that I currently take. Actually, I might show you two, but one of them that I take through Isagenix. Currently, I have been on it several years. I got about a half a bottle of this left and 2 more bottles in the cupboard. But this is Isagenix Cleanse for Life. It's all natural. Now, when you hear cleanse, the first thing you say is, oh my God, I don't want to do a liver cleanse or a colon cleanse because that's just gross. It's not that kind of cleanse. Hallelujah. We can shout. This is not that kind of cleanse. But there is a reason that I wasn't feeling better after chemotherapy, and I want to explain what that reason was. Our body reproduces cells every day. Every day. Well, those cells hold memories. So as the cells were reproducing, they were reproducing from the memory of chemotherapy. So I couldn't have energy. So what this Cleanse for Life does is it cleanses at the cellular level. It erases the cell's memory of those bad things that harm you so that you can create healthy cells which give you strength, which just help you in ways that I can't even believe. Now, I ordered these products. I ordered several. This is just one that I take. Turn it around right. And when I went for my next oncology appointment, it had been about a month since I'd started taking them, and I walked in and I was like, I don't even need to see you today. I feel so good. I just can't even describe it. And it looked like I had a whole pharmacy sitting because I took my products with me. And I said, you're my doctor. I want your clearance. If you don't think I should take these, then let me know because I want your approval. And so, she read all the information I had on them. She picked up the bottles. She read the back where's my camera, that talked about, what they are. She was excited that, this, unlike harsh laxatives or diuretics, Cleanse for Life nourishes your body with its natural detoxification systems responsible for eliminating toxins and impurities. It's made with a unique blend of antioxidants, plant botanicals. It's a fundamental component during intermittent fasting on cleanse days to support weight loss and when used as part of the isogenic system. It's Cleanse for Life. And I love it. It tastes good. I probably take it a little more than what I should, but that's okay because it tastes good. So sometimes if I'm needing to drink something besides my normal coffee, which also Isogenics makes, I will turn to the Cleanse for Life. I found that sometimes it quenches my thirst even better than a glass of water. But I share that with you because I didn't sit here and order this big, huge package. I said to Wayne and to Rome, hey guys, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what needs to change. And I don't want to spend $1,500 on products I'm not going to use. So tell me just a couple things that I can start on, that I can try. Another thing that I was experiencing, I had been tested for rheumatoid arthritis because I kept complaining to my pain management doctor about inflammation. And when the test come back, it did not show rheumatoid arthritis, praise the Lord. But it did show an elevated ANA, which is a sign that lupus could be present. So she referred me to a rheumatologist, and he did more blood work and whatnot. Well, in between the time that I got the lab results back from pain management and was waiting on the rheumatology appointment, I started Ionic Supreme. And I'm sorry, I do not have that to show you because I'm out, but it's on my order. But I started Ionic Supreme. Within 2 weeks of daily taking Ionic Supreme, I noticed a tremendous decrease in my inflammation. When I went to the rheumatologist, I took the Onnit Supreme with him. I showed it to him just as I did the cardiologist. This is what I'm taking, and I want you to, approve it. I don't want to take anything that's going to interfere with anything you're going to do. Because we're always encouraged, even if we buy over-the-counter vitamins or whatever, always let your medical team know what you're putting in your mouth, because some drugs can interact with natural products. He redid the test, and y'all, it was normal. He said, "Oh, you must have just got a false positive. I'm still going to follow you. I just, want to see how things go. Vitamin D's a little low. So, you can go." He gave me vitamin D prescription to get through and get it up to where he wanted it at that time. But then he encouraged me to daily take 2,000 units of vitamin D. Well, rather than buying them over the counter, I bought through Isagenix something called Cytoactives. It is a dietary supplement. It contains CoQ10, resveratrol, vitamin D3, and a word that I can't pronounce. But let's see if I can get it where you can see it. Cytoactives. I take 2 of these a day. Hadn't had any more problems with my vitamin D being low. Because, y'all, I'm just going to tell you, because he asked me, the doctor asked, "Do you ever go outside?" And I said, "Well, yeah, sometime." But I do so much research for ministry and coaching and everything that I don't go outside like I should to get the natural light, the natural vitamin D from the sun. I don't. We live in the South. It's hot. It's humid. And I don't do that. But, so I take Cytoactives. I can tell a difference. Listen, if your vitamin D is low, you're hurt. Your bones hurt. The next one that I consider very important that I take, and I don't necessarily take any of this for weight loss. They do have packages for weight loss if that's what you're interested in, but that's not what I take these for. If I get the benefit of weight loss out of taking them, then hey, great. That's just another reward there. But the next thing I take is called Isobiome. Having been diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer made me aware of how important your gut health is. So if I don't get nothing else out to you, listen, ladies and gentlemen, take care of your gut. Take care of it. Isobiome is a way that you can do that. One of these is a probiotic, and the other one is an enzyme. These are specifically for gut health. I highly, highly recommend them. They do not have to be refrigerated. They're awesome. And so that's just a few of the products that I take. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not trying to push a product on you. I want to continue to talk with you about the reset, about the health. See, these are products that God brought to me to reset me. It was like, especially this, with cleansing those cells, kicking out those chemo memories, it did a major reset on my life. And now I can actually keep up with the 3 kids that's running circles around me every day. It's made that big of a difference. And, I'm going to tell my age. I'm 48. I'll be 49 next month. And I'm excited to feel alive. There's a lot of people my age that aren't satisfied. But I've learned to live my life in a way that I get those resets. I've learned to listen to my body so I can get those resets. So I want to ask you a question now. What would you be able to do Or no, let me rephrase that. I'm not even asking my question right. Would you be able to do what I did in order to do what I'm doing now? And that means, could you walk the same journey? Are you willing to make the same sacrifices? And I'm by no means asking you to get cancer or anything like that. But I'm talking about, I'm sitting here talking with you, coaching you about making a reset in your life. Changing mindsets, changing paradigms, changing belief systems, taking steps in order for you to reset your life. And it don't have to just be about health. We have other resets. We can reset our finances. We can reset our social abilities. I'm going to ask you another question. What is the value of one idea? What is the value of one idea? And I'm going to give you 10 steps now, and I'm just going to read them straight off. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about them, but read them straight off. 10 steps to maximizing your moment, to resetting your life, to achieving your goals, your dreams. Number 1, you got to have a burning desire. A burning desire. Listen, I come out of chemotherapy with that, not just burning desire, but expectation to feel alive. And it wasn't there. But I kept that burning desire, and I said, no, this isn't acceptable. I'm not doing this. Your next step, when you see the next step, you must act. When you see the next step, you must act. The next step for me was reaching out to Wayne and saying that I got to do something. I can't go from the bed to the sofa. That's not what I'm created for. I'm not this lazy person. I've got to be helping somebody in some kind of way. We talked. I'd been exploring coaching for 3 years before I knew that I was definitely going to go to a school and receive my accreditation. I had explored other schools. Let me be the first to say that. I had explored other schools to receive accreditation in coaching. But their values didn't seem to line up with my values. And that was a problem. I couldn't learn from somebody who didn't at least have similar values. And one of the first things I learned in talking to the owners of the school was once they became coaches, they got divorced. And I was like, is that a prerequisite for becoming a coach? Because I've been married a long time, and I love my husband. My husband is a gift from God, and if that's a consideration I have to make, forget it. Then there was Wayne, Pastor Wayne, popping up in my news feed. And I sat down one night, still tired, and I filled out the form, scheduled the call with him, and had that call the next few nights. One of the best decisions I ever made. Normally, before I spend any kind of money, I'll sit down and talk with my husband about it, but that night, I was just like, I'm in. How do I pay? How do I get my initial fee started? How do we do this? And I made that investment in myself because I come to the realization God saw value in me. He saw enough value in me to save me, to heal me from stage 3 colon cancer. I had to see that same value. Therefore, I had to invest in me. That goes into step 3. You must find your yes. And I found my yes. And I signed up that night on that call with Wayne. And once I got off the call, I told my husband what I'd done. But I told you, he's my gift from God. And he said, you know what you're doing. I support you. The fourth thing, do not negotiate with your dream. Do not negotiate with your dream. Your dream's going to cost you something because you have to invest in yourself. There's an old saying, nothing in life is free, and it's not. Whether it costs you a sacrifice of time away from your family, a financial sacrifice, whatever it may be, it's going to cost you something, but you don't negotiate with your dream. Number 5, you be creative. Be creative. Keep that vision in front of you. Hold that space and get creative with it. Ask God, what's next? What's the next step? I'm ready. Number 6, challenge the old paradigms. Challenge the old mindsets. Now, you just might have to sit down and say, why do I believe what I believe? And write it down. Take the time to write it down. Do you believe it because it's truth? Do you believe it because it's tradition that was taught to you? Do you believe it because you heard a pastor say it, and so that means it's got to be true? Well, I'm a pastor too, and you know what? I'm human, and sometimes I make mistakes, and that's why I always tell you, don't just take what I say. You search it out for yourself, because I'm human. You challenge those old mindsets every day. Every day. The next thing is to take that first step without knowing what the other steps are going to be. Just take the first step. Say your first yes. I did. I took my first step with going through the coaching. I went through that coaching course. I received my accreditation. And I started looking for ways to put it to use. Looking for people to invest in. Not necessarily to earn a profit at that time, because I need to gain trust. But looking for people that I could help. Then later, a little later, we got to talking about the Isagenix. Because I was going to have the strength and the ability to do the work that I signed up for. That was my dream. Again, number 8, we have to remember that law of sacrifice. Those dreams are going to cost you something. They cost Jesus. It cost Jesus his life. Because guess what? You were his dream. You were his dream. So he died on the cross for you. He made the ultimate sacrifice. Imagine yourself having what it is you want. You want to be a coach? Imagine yourself as a coach. See it. Hold that vision before you. Make a vision board. Put pictures of you. Pictures maybe that you cut out of magazines of people that you could be coaching. I'm going to coach these people. Your words are creative. Your words are creative. You hold the same creative power that God did when he said, let there be. Number 10. This is very important. Celebrate your victories along the way. Don't just wait until you've achieved the final goal. Each small goal that you use as a stepping stone towards the larger goal, celebrate. I told you earlier that I was proud of my daughter because she's in school for Health and Human Services, looking to be a social worker to help others. with a 4.0 GPA. I'm just amazed. I'm so excited for her. And I tell her every week, celebrate these accomplishments. Hey, you've got this week's lessons done. You've got everything turned in on time. Your grades are where you want them to be. Celebrate. You did it. You did it. And that, my friend, that is part of the way that we reset. That's part of the way we reset. I had a little more that I was going to share, but I think I'm going to stop with that. Save these others for another live video. Keep you intrigued. Have you come back. So for your homework, because what is coaching if there's no homework? Ask yourself, would I be able to do what someone else did in order to do what they're doing now? Whether it's Wayne Sutton, Regina Sanders, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, whoever it may be, whoever your mentor, even if they don't know your mentor, that they're your mentor, whoever it may be, would you be willing to do what they did to get to where they are now? That's something you really have to think about, because you don't know their journey of getting there. You just see what they've accomplished on that journey there. Ask yourself, what is the value of one idea? What is the value of one idea? And if you want to read a good book, it's going to help you out along the way. I'll even give a book recommendation. John Maxwell, Developing the Leader Within You. It's a good place to start. I also direct you back to Wayne Sutton. Wayne's got several books, and I'm sorry, Wayne, you're going to have to put me the name of some of them in comments, because my brain's just leaving me. But I have read several of Wayne's books. In fact, I read one of his books just before I decided to join the coaching school. And let me tell you, IACCC is one of the best. And I researched several. They're one of the best. So if you're looking for a coaching school, reach out to Wayne. I got to give him a shout out, because he's my friend. He's my mentor. Always there when I need a reset to steer me along. And listen, I'm here for you. You don't have to do this reset by yourself. Give me a call, 803-580-3097. Send me a message right here through Live Your Best Life. Let's get you on the calendar and let's get this journey started. And if you are looking at resetting your health, then I can help you there too. Look forward to talking to you. Have a great rest of your evening, a great weekend, and until next time, God bless.